Now open up VTF edit. Import the bitmap that you just finished making. Click OK on this box, you don't care about any of that. And file save it as wrench. Okay. Now go to File New. You just made a VTF, which is a texture, and now you're gonna have to make a VMT, which directs Team Fortress 2 to your texture. So in the box, or in the part that's already selected, just delete it. Type vertex lit generic, and inside the brackets, tab quote $base texture quote space quote models slash weapons slash world wrench slash wrench quote. We're gonna make a new directory in our materials folder, and we're gonna put the VTF and VMT in there, and we're gonna call it world wrench. So this is just directing the game to the VTF. We can save this as wrench, close it. Go to your Team Fortress 2 folder, go to materials, models, weapons, and make a new folder called world wrench. Sorry. Open it up and drag your VMT and VTF inside there. So now you're done with the model and the texture. Now we just have to change some files to get it to compile properly. So if you were smart, unlike me, there are two files here, LOD1 and LOD2. These should have less, polygons than wrench reference, because like it displays LOD1 if you're a certain distance away from the model, so it just makes the whole loading process easier and you get better FPS. But I'm not going to do that because we just have a simple cylinder. It's not very complex. If you're going to properly do this, you're going to have to make new models. So like repeat the entire first half of this and go into Milkshape for each one of these and replace it with your new weapon. But in my case, I'm just going to copy wrench twice and give it the same name. So LOD1 underscore wrench, and do the same with LOD2. Alright, so now we just have the cylinder in place of these two files. You can open up your QC, and there's significantly less stuff here than usual, or than last time. Scrolling down through the list, you can see our LODs. It has some problems decompiling here. It leaves off part of the file name. So after all these DMXs, you're going to add .smd, 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 and .smd. It's because over here you see this one's called wrenchreference.smd or .dmx.smd, but over here it left off the .smd, so we just have to re-add that so it'll know what files to look for. Alternatively, you could just delete this whole thing because we didn't make new models for the LOD. Looking down, CD materials. This is completely empty, so we're going to have to redirect it to our materials, which are in models slash weapons slash world wrench slash. Make sure you have this extra slash at the end. Your texture won't show up if that's not there. And model uses material. Delete all this and redirect it to world wrench slash wrench.vmt. Do Control H, find all forward slashes and replace them with backslashes. Again, I still haven't checked to see if that's needed, but I know that generally when you're making, or the file system is set up to use backslashes, so I just do it that way. When you're done, after you replace them, the line that starts with model uses material, change those backslashes back into forward slashes. And that all looks good, so we can save this and close it. And go to wherever you saved GUI Studio MDL and open it up. Make sure Steam is running. Yeah, it is. And go to File, Load QC File, and select the QC in your output folder. Select orange box down here, and make sure target mod is Team Fortress 2. Click Compile. Scroll up through the list to see you have no errors. So that was a completely successful one. Go over, or ignore my screen for a little bit. You go into your TF folder and go to Models, Weapons, WModels, and make sure you have wrench stuff there. Here, now I do. So now let's open up TF2 and see if it works. And I'm just going to make another custom server on 2 for it. This is left over from the viewmodel tutorial. So if you just did the worldmodel one, you should see a regular wrench right now. But when you taunt, you should see your worldmodel one. Yeah, that's perfect. Let's turn SV cheats to 1 and go into third person. Yeah, it's kind of skinny. It doesn't look like he's actually holding it, but animation works fine. So now if you go into a regular server, it should look good. Oh, word of warning, if you go into a server that has SV pure set to 2 or maybe even 1, I think, your first person model and this will just be a white wireframe, but that is not your fault. That is just because of the server settings. So sweet. So there you go. Now you can successfully make a first person model and a third person model. Yeah, I'm IceColdFreezie. Thanks for watching. I think my next one's probably going to be a player modeling, or maybe some basic animation stuff. We'll see. That'll be out in a few days. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I can't think of anything to say. That was a really lame conclusion. I'll see you next time.